AI chip stocks plunge on valuation concerns. AI chip stocks suffered a sharp reversal in early July 2026. Micron Technology led the decline with a 13% drop, erasing roughly $138 billion in market value in a single session. Intel fell 9% and AMD dropped 7%, while the VanEck Semiconductor ETF shed 5%. The sell-off was driven by reports that SK Hynix is slowing its high-bandwidth memory expansion, growing doubts over AI infrastructure returns, and a more hawkish Federal Reserve under new chair Kevin Warsh.
Tesla posts record Q2 deliveries, stock sinks 7%. Tesla delivered 480,126 vehicles in the second quarter, up 25% year-over-year and far above Wall Street's estimate of about 406,000. It marks Tesla's best ever Q2 and its first annual delivery growth after 2 years of decline, helped by a rebound in Europe. Yet shares sank about 7%, their worst day in nearly a year, as investors focused on Tesla's costly ambitions in autonomous driving and AI over its recovering core auto business.
South Korea's exports surged 70.9%, fastest since 1978. South Korea posted massive export growth in June, with shipments up 70.9% year-over-year, sharply beating the 61% growth economists expected and marking the fastest pace since 1978. Imports rose 30.1% to $66.1 billion, also topping forecasts. The trade balance widened to $36.15 billion, up from $27.04 billion in May, signaling continued strength in Korea's export-driven economy.
Alphabet loses EU antitrust appeal, $4.67 billion fine upheld. Alphabet shares fell 1% after a European court upheld the company's €4.1 billion, or $4.67 billion, fine in an antitrust case. The penalty stems from a 2018 European Commission decision that found Google gave its own apps unfair advantages on Android devices, one of the largest tech antitrust actions in EU history.
Getty Shutterstock $3.7 billion merger collapses. Shutterstock shares plunged 28% and Getty Images fell nearly 6% after their $3.7 billion merger collapsed over a UK regulatory obstacle. Britain's Competition and Markets Authority had required Shutterstock to sell its editorial business as a merger condition, which Getty's board unanimously rejected on Tuesday, terminating the deal. The companies had announced plans in January to create a combined stock image giant as the industry faces heavy competition from generative AI tools like DALL-E and Midjourney.
Oil steadies near $69 as Strait of Hormuz shipping recovers. Crude oil held steady around $69 per barrel, near levels last seen before the Middle East conflict erupted in February, as shipping through the Strait of Hormuz continued to recover. Saudi Arabia's crude exports rebounded to about 90% of pre-war levels, while the UAE restored exports to over 3.9 million barrels per day. Talks between the US and Iran, mediated by Qatar and Pakistan, were reported to be progressing.